Hi, Eric here with Smart Pot Fabric Planters, back with the season finale episode of the Growing Revolution Smart Pot Cast. In this episode, I wanted to go over the state of the lawn and garden industries and hydro industries that we service, give a preview of what Season 2 has in store, and then to thank our guests from Season 1 and do a little recap. First, the lawn and garden industry that Smart Pot works in is still doing pretty well. We saw a dramatic increase in gardeners during the COVID lockdowns, which dropped down a bit last year as people decided to leave their homes in 2021. In 2022, the overall feeling that we get is that the industry is still doing quite well. The dip from last year is still coming off of a monstrous increase, and it's natural for industries to level off back to normal to some degree. Now, instead of COVID lockdowns forcing people into their gardens, it's the real threat of food shortages and price hikes on commodities that has people concerned. Fertilizer prices and availability has forced farmers to reduce plantings this season. Out west, watering restrictions are also impacting commercial agriculture. From Econ 101, the law of supply and demand states that if supply goes down, prices must rise. Already, we've seen at least a 10% increase on food prices from last year, and it's probably going to get worse, not better. Has your paycheck gone up as much as your expenses has? Probably not. One major way to alleviate these increased expenses is to start gardening. Even growing one or two plants that you would otherwise be purchasing in the store, such as spinach, tomatoes, peppers, can be grown indoors or outdoors depending on your situation and environment. Yes, investing in a garden will cost some money up front, but after those initial expenses, ongoing expenses can be quite minimal compared to not having to purchase your food at market rates at the supermarket. We've seen a large increase in urban gardening, and Smart Pot has two new products this year for you: the Urban Compost Sack and the Lil Shorty Raised Bed Planter. These two products can work together to allow you to grow your own food and create your own high quality compost to then recharge your raised bed soil. These are smaller versions of our existing 100-gallon compost sack and of our 6, 8, or 12-foot raised bed planter, and they'll be available for the 2023 gardening season. On the hydroponics side of things, it kind of looks like 2018 all over again. California is leading the charge, but Michigan, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Washington are all right in there. Licensed producers are sitting on a lot of unsold product from 2021, which doesn't increase in value over time. It's not like wine, it doesn't get better, it only gets worse. Normally, these proceeds would be used to turn around and buy gear and supplies for 2022, but many growers were unable to do so. I am predicting that next year will be better as growers figure out that supply will be down by this coming fall. Wholesale prices will rise back up and growers will jump back into the game, hopefully. We know that cannabis consumption is going up, not down, so why the discrepancy with supply and demand? It's hard to give an exact reason, but one factor is taxes. With the large taxes that states like California especially are putting on licensed growers, it will always leave room for black market cultivators to undercut those prices. Licensed producers have much higher expenses and hoops to jump through versus the black market cultivator or the personal home grower. Also, another factor, many of these licensed producers are not growing top shelf flower, focusing instead on overall yields. Could this be a factor for unsold product? Probably. If you all think that state legalization has messed up the cannabis marketplace, just wait until the feds come for their piece of the pie. or if cannabis is legalized internationally. Ultimately, I think that cannabis should be treated like wine or beer. Taxes should be minimal because they are ultimately passed on to the end user anyways. Growers, if you can weather the storm this year, I believe next year will be better. Next, I wanted to give a preview of what to expect for Season 2 of The Growing Revolution. This is a great time for us to take a break from the regular podcast recording schedule. As many of you know, the fall is trade show season for our industry. It's a time where we get to meet with our dealers and end users to show off new products for the upcoming season, and that means a lot of traveling, emails, and phone calls. Believe it or not, I do 100% of the podcast preparation, recording, editing, and posting of episodes. Taking a break will allow me to focus more on customers and end users. We will be aiming to start back up around November or December, and we'll definitely give a heads up as to that and make a lot of noise. But until then, we'll be posting clips from previous interviews, montages, and such. Next season, we're going to try to do a few more issues episodes, like the ones that we did with Milo Seamus from Dr. Earth about chicken manure, the looming food shortages, and similar topics. If you or someone that you know would make for an interesting guest on our podcast, we're always looking for people to join us. Please reach out via our social media accounts or email me, Eric, E-R-I-C, at smartpots.com. Lastly, I wanted to thank our guests from Season 1. First, our company president, Kurt Rieger. We had the guru of ganja, Ed Rosenthal. There's Dr. Earth himself, Milo Seamus. Jazem Bastaki of Sustainable Organic, Kuwait. Dustin Frazier of High Country Genetics. Christian Klinger of Yerba Buena Farms. Wendy, the Naked Grower. Mike Jernigan of Peninsula Hydroponics. Alzana Albabtain of It All Grows and Plant and More. Misilla from Learn to Grow. David Palashuk, branding expert. Of course, the amazing Callie Kim. Ben Owens from Canaventure. Garrick Latta from Portland High Standards. Dale and Carrie Spoonmore from Seed to Spoon. Nate Lipton of Growers House in Cannacribs. Harley Smith of Light Sky Farms. Bill Graham of Microclone. Nicholas Boucher of the Pepper Compendium Project. Kristen, Mike, and Ryan from Fifth Season Gardening. Jeff of SFC Grown. Devin Langford from Hawthorne Gardening. Milan Turner of ATL Grow. Clayton Smith from Monterey Lawn and Garden. Jason Ryder of Thriving Design. Gabe Pena of Engineered Essentials. And finally, Dan Balma of Central Coast Garden Products. I greatly appreciate your time, and hopefully we can get some of you guys on some follow-up episodes in future seasons. This has been a dream come true of sorts, talking to people about the industry that we all love, plants and people. I really appreciate all of you who have seen our episodes and who have followed our progress and who have liked and shared these episodes. We look forward to even better content in the future. Until next season, I'm Eric Olson, signing off. Bye for now.